Now, I'm certainly no financial advisor. In fact, I make mistakes pretty often. I can't predict the future, I make bad decisions, and just to fill you guys in on a little secret, sometimes when I'm investing, things don't always go my way. Don't get me wrong, I love the stock market, but I'm still learning about investing, and I hope I never get to the point where I act like I know everything. In fact, if I ever try to convince you otherwise, you know, like those guys with their selfie cameras taking videos of themselves in their garages full of Lamborghinis, drinking $12 coffees with overpriced designer prescription sunglasses. You know what I'm talking about. If I ever, you have full permission to cancel.
Bye-bye, Levi.
See, as someone who's always trying to learn more about investing, and ultimately trying to profit off my investments, I often find myself researching stocks and trying to find companies with investing potential. One thing I've noticed though is that I'm often searching best stocks to buy now on the internet, and every time the search results are from this one website called the Motley Fool. Now, I like the Motley Fool and I don't have any issues with them. In fact, they have one of the best paid stock picking newsletters on the market, and I've used many of their paid resources for about 2 years now. But today, in this video, I want to put some of their free content to the test. I want to know, are all those articles from the Motley Fool that say best stocks to buy now, could they help you pick better stocks and maybe increase your returns? The question that we always ask here at Wall Street Survivor, are these lists, and is the Motley Fool legit? Again, disclaimer, it's impossible to know on a stock-by-stock basis, and in no way does past performance indicate how they'll predict stocks in the future. But nevertheless, I still am curious about how these free picks from the Motley Fool perform over time. So here's what I did. I took 10 of their articles from 2019, which comprised 38 unique stock picks. I took each one of those stock share prices the day that they recommended them, and then compared them with where they closed at after yesterday's stock market close. Now, again, another disclaimer, usually the Motley Fool is looking at about a 3 to 5 year investment horizon, so most of these stocks haven't lived out their entire life cycle yet. But just as a fun exercise, I wanted to see if you could beat the market by just paying attention to the Motley Fool's free articles. Okay, so here's what it looks like when I Google best stocks to buy now. As you can see, the top 2 articles from the Motley Fool, and if you go over to the news tab, it's even more Motley Fool. So again, here are the articles. They range from January all the way to December of 2019, and they each pick between 3 and 6 stocks they suggest you buy. Now what I did is I threw all these stocks into an Excel document, and I organized them by date, article title, put down the stock name of all the individual stocks that they suggested, the ticker symbol, the price when they recommended it on that date, and then the current closing price as of yesterday's close. Now you can see they pick a lot of popular household name stocks like Berkshire Hathaway, Alphabet, Uber, Shopify, PayPal, but they also do a good job of introducing people to new companies such as Apple Hospitality REIT or Magellan Midstream Partners. Obviously, the most important thing we want to look at is this column all the way to the right, and that's the returns. Now, you can see there's a lot of green and red. Honestly, the stocks that they pick move a lot, but most of the stocks are either up big or down big. Any stock that was down 10% or more since they recommended it, I highlighted in red. Any stock that was up more than 10% since the time they recommended it, I highlighted in green. Additionally, I bolded any stocks that were down more than 50% or up more than 50%. If you're scrolling through here, you can see that there's quite a bit of both, and there were 38 unique stocks that they picked among the 10 articles that I analyzed. Now, I will say, only one stock was down more than 50%, and 7 of the stocks they recommended were up over 50%. 3 of them were up over 100%. So time for the big reveal. What was the average return considering all these stocks as if you bought 1 share of each from the time they recommended them till yesterday? That number, 24.71%, which is a massive return for a year and a half worth of investing. And keep in mind, this list includes stocks that they recommended throughout 2019. So some of these you wouldn't have even bought until November or December. And now you're saying, well, the stock market has been going up most of the time for the past year and a half, so maybe that's not that great of a return. Often what matters in finance is whether or not you beat the market, and so many investors are trying to beat the market all the time. Well, investors often use the S&P 500 index, which tracks 500 of the largest publicly listed US companies, to approximate the growth of the overall market. And as you can see, I pulled the numbers, and if you take the S&P 500 from January 1st of 2019, it's gone up 14.89%. And if you do it from the middle of the year last year, which would make more sense because these stocks were recommended throughout 2019, it's only up 3.44%. Either way, the Motley Fool's free content, say for example, if you would have bought 1 share of each one of these stocks, you would have smashed the S&P 500 by 10 to 20%. Wow, 24.71%? That's pretty ridiculous. And just as review, I randomly selected these articles and used every single stock in each article. I didn't leave anything out. I was pretty astonished when I finally did the numbers. And honestly, it made me want to pay a lot more attention to the free content that the Motley Fool puts out. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video, they do have a ton of free content, but they also have a stock picking newsletter, and its returns are even better. Right now it's $99 a year. You can get their professional grade stock picks and stock analysis. The Stock Advisor newsletter has been around since 2002 and the average return is 449% of all of their hundreds of picks. The picks come out twice a month, and they also send you a ton of data and other useful lists that you only get as a paid subscriber to the Motley Fool. If you don't have over $1,000 to invest, it's probably not quite worth paying for yet, but if you do, it's absolutely the best on the market. I'll throw a link in the description below in case that sounds like something that you guys are interested in. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to pay attention to the best stocks to buy now articles coming from the Motley Fool, and if the Stock Advisor newsletter sounds good to you, sign up using the link below in the description. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the Wall Street Survivor channel, and I'll see you guys next time.